All right, welcome back to our channel for the live of the new year, the first Diabetes 180 live of 2026. So as always, join us in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. And since this is the first live of the new year, of course, I want to know if you guys have New Year's goals. So what are the goals you have for this year? So our topic for tonight is going to be about tracking or habit tracking. So you're going to learn how to keep track of these goals all year. And that's going to be very, very, very important. All right. If you don't have any goals yet, if you decided that you just haven't really took the time to decide what your goals are, just write in the chat that this is my year because I really believe that, whatever your goals are, whatever it is you want to achieve or overcome, having this new year to start off scratch is a great opportunity to use what we're about to teach you, okay, to create better habits for this year. How many of you do not want to repeat the mistakes of 2025? I know I don't. So, whatever drama, whatever issues, whatever bad habits, let's leave them in 2025, guys, and let's bring in this year with a goal of creating a new person, right? A new you, right? So we're going to talk about the importance of keeping track of the goals that you set throughout the year. And I'm going to start off actually with sharing a Bible verse that really highlights the importance of this. What I love about scripture and scriptural truth is that the things that are true for that are good for our spirit, right, our spiritual health, are also good for our physical health, right? It really falls in line with one of the themes of Diabetes 180, which is that faith and science combine to heal body, spirit, and mind, right? And so we always try our best to connect the body, mind, spirit connection throughout our lectures, when we're coaching, in our group sessions, to connect and provide a holistic approach to our wellness. So I want to start off with a Bible verse, if you guys don't mind. I'm actually going to turn to Revelation chapter 3, and if you guys, of course, have a Bible on hand, that's awesome if you could join in. But we're just going to read a verse. I think it's two verses in the book of Revelation that I feel like I know I'm saying Revelation, thinking, whoa, like where he's about to preach. There's a lot of truths in the Bible, spiritual truths that also apply to our physical well-being, and I'd even say mental health well-being. So there's a verse in here that really speaks some powerful spiritual truth that is going to be very important to understand as we enter this new year. Okay, so I want to start with Revelation chapter 3, and we're just going to read two verses. Let me make sure I got the verses up. Um, verse 15 and 16. Okay, and all right. I always like to say a little prayer before I open up the word. Dear Father, please bless us as we meditate on your words. Lord, cover us with your blood and allow us to gain a deep knowledge and understanding that we can apply to our daily life. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So, again, the topic for today, if you guys are just joining on, is habit tracking, or how we're going to be looking at apps that you can download today and start using right now to track your habits. Okay, and it works across platforms if you're an iPhone user or Android user. So before we go into these apps, I want to share a little word of encouragement, okay, and admonition, right? And then we'll go into the apps that I want to recommend for the new year we start using. Okay. Um, I don't see any goals in the chat. So does that mean nobody got goals for the year? Let me know what your goals are. I hope I'm not the only one that set goals for 2026. I got a lot of them. So if you're not too shy to share your goals, go ahead and leave them in the chat. Okay. All right. So Revelation chapter 3, verse 16 and 17 says these very serious words. Actually, verse 15 and 16. And these are the words of Christ, right? Words of Christ, particularly to his people, all right? I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were cold or hot. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth. That's some strong words, right? I wish you were cold or hot. You're not cold, you're not hot. I wish you were one or the other, cold or hot, because if at least you were cold, because you're lukewarm, because you're not cold or hot, I'm gonna have to vomit you out of my mouth. In other words, you are useless. Yeah, I can't do anything with you, right? Um, and this is coming from God. You come from Christ, who has, of course, nothing but the best intentions for us, right? Nothing but high goals for us. He has a plan for each one of us, but when we're lukewarm, it's almost like God is saying, I can't do anything with you. Now, what no, we could apply to that spiritually, hot meaning, when you're, what does hot mean? Hot meaning in this context, of the church being spiritually on fire, right? Um, we could also apply that to our physical goals here on Diabetes 180, right? We think about the goals you set, maybe 2025 January, right? You are hot, you're on fire, right? Maybe right now you're back on fire again, right? You're getting ready to get rid of junk food, right? To start or watching your fat intake, right? You're resetting your weight loss goals, okay? Someone said improving sleep hygiene. That's awesome. I love that. You set your goals usually in the beginning of the year very hot. You're on fire, right? You're ready to go, right? Um, you're motivated, right? So this hot concept can apply spiritually as well as to physical goals, right? Spiritual goals, spiritual wellness, as well as physical wellness. Um, what about cold, right? So hot we know serves a purpose. Cold, does that also serve a purpose? No, let's pause for a second and think about this. So when John the Revelator got this revelation from God, was a time of Roman Empire, right? And the Romans in the Roman Empire knew the importance of not just hot but also cold, right? They created aqueducts that used hot and cold, right? They had hot baths where hydrotherapy could be used. So they knew the benefits of contrasting hot and cold together. So it just makes sense that in John's mind, this reference to I wish you were hot or I wish you were cold was basically referencing the fact that both heat and coldness have their benefits. Okay, so what's the benefit of being cold, spiritually or in your physical aspect of health, right? Coldness, right, is the times in your life, like take it back to when you were first diagnosed with diabetes. How did you feel? Right? Probably a little devastated, like a little discouraged, right? Maybe it's not diabetes for you, maybe it's something else, right? So just think of the moments of discouragement. You step on the scale and you're feeling, man, like I need to do better. I gained 10 pounds over the holidays, right? So there's the coldness, right? The discouragement of failing, of being disappointed, right, in yourself. This is where failure or bad news can be a good thing. That cold feeling could be a good thing. Why? Think about it. Because when you're cold, what do you want more than anything? What do you want more than anything? You want heat. You're right. You want to go back to doing good. You want to go back to the gym. You want to go back to exercising. You reset yourself when you're cold. It serves a purpose, right? And oh, hey, Carly, thank you for joining in. Yes, I remember you from Hagerstown. Awesome, awesome. Joining us. We actually worked in Med Express. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you're with us. Definitely share this with everybody. All right, this live after it's done recording. But yeah, so thinking again back on this concept of hot or cold, it's lukewarm that serves no purpose. Lukewarmness, then, if hot is the times in our life where we're on fire, ready to start 2026, right? We're excited, we're pumped up, right? We set our goals. And then coldness being, when you kind of fall off the wagon hard. Lukewarm is somewhere in between where you don't even realize you're hot. You don't realize you're not hot. You don't realize you're cold either. You're just kind of in a place where you don't really care so much. Unfortunately, guys, this is where most of us are going to end up by March. Not even March, by February. Not even by February, by end of January, most of us will probably be lukewarm. Whatever goals you set, I'm hoping you guys, even though not many people are sharing their goals, hopefully you guys have set goals, number one. But hopefully we're not so lukewarm that we 2026 is just another day. Like January 1st is just another day. I mean, trust me, I get it. If that's the case for you, you've set so many New Year's resolutions and failed them, you don't care anymore. I'm gonna show you a better way today. I'm gonna show you how you could stay uh hot, or at the very least know your temperature all year. Okay, that's the best method. I should say that's the best benefit of habit tracking, is that it helps you to have a thermometer to see where you are when it comes to health goals. So again, if you are a person who wants to go into 2026 on fire, but also to keep that fire, right? And not get to the point where you are really just coasting, right? Where you've long forget your goals, and the next time that you check your A1C, it went up again, right? Or you're tired of checking your sugar because it's always high. So you just eat whatever, right? That overwhelm sets in. That lukewarmness is dangerous. I mean, think about the verse. He says, I'll have to spit you out of my mouth. It's equal to death. If someone's hot, they run to the fire, right? Someone's on fire, they're great, right? When someone's lukewarm, they don't know that they are literally dying. And that's the problem with diabetes. When we have diabetes, when our loved ones have diabetes, they are literally, it's almost like your blood is poisoning every organ in your body slowly. There's so many stories where people, as a physician assistant, where people come into my clinic and they were good, right? They were fine. And now they're basically scheduling a pre-op appointment with a surgeon because they're going to lose their foot, right? um Speaking even close to home, my wife was at the point of blindness, right? She was seeing good, and one day, literally one day to the next, her vision was blurry, right? Did it happen overnight? No, this was a lukewarm, slow and steady destruction, right? And unfortunately, many of us, if we don't get out of this lukewarm position, it's going to kill us. It will be the cause of our premature demise. Um, so hopefully you guys can take what you learned in this, and this is gonna be short. It's gonna be short. What I'm gonna do now is just kind of share with you guys a few apps. I think I have, let me see on the list. Four I've chosen to share with you guys, and this will be the first time I do this. I'm gonna try to share my phone with you guys through screen sharing. We're gonna see. We're gonna test the limits of technology. All right. So this is the first time we've done this, and so bear with me. I'm gonna do my best. Hopefully, it works out good. Um, I did practice it, and it seemed like it worked out pretty good. So we're gonna start with the Habitify. Okay. So right now I'm just gonna share my screen. It'd be nice if you guys can let me know if you've ever used any of these apps, if you've heard of these apps. But the first one we're gonna share with is called Habitify. Habitify. Okay. If you need the list of these apps or the names later on, I could share them with you. I guess I should have thought of that. I should have texted you the. I guess I'll do that. Let me text you the name of the app. So Habitify. Look at the chat right here, and make sure you can see. If you guys can let me know, I want to make sure I spell it right. Habitify is the one. The first one we'll go through. The next one is going to be called Finch. Okay. App two is Finch. So we have Habitify. That'll be the first app we're going to talk about and share with you guys. The next one's going to be called Finch. All right. So if you want to write that down, Finch is the next app. And then we have Avocation. And by the way, all these are free, or are free versions, I should say. With every one of these, you could upgrade to a paid version. But the why I chose these, because I don't like to spend money unnecessarily, and these ones are really good as far as getting the most out of a free app. Avocation is another one that's really fun and simple to use. And then we have Habitica. I promise I won't take too long in sharing it, but Habitica. So Habitica is another one, and I'll share how that's spelt there. Habitica. And finally, the most simple one is Done. I mean, that, as far as simplicity goes, that's probably the most simplest one. And Done. All right. Let me know if you cannot see what I'm posting. Hopefully, you guys can see it in the chat there. But I'm looking like it's all check marks on YouTube and Facebook. So hopefully, you guys can see it. All right. So, all right. Let's go ahead and see if we can add my screen. So the screen might look really weird for a second. I'm going to create, I guess they call it an infinity screen. as I try to switch over to my iPhone. Okay, so it's gonna look like I'm zoomed out. And it's gonna look real crazy, or at least it might. And so just bear with me as I just switch over. All right, so we're gonna share this. Let me first make sure I connect. Okay. All right. So hopefully you guys can see the screen here. I'm probably gonna go back to make sure um, you guys can see. If someone could let me know in the chat whether or if you cannot see me or see my phone. If you can see my phone, great. If you cannot see my phone, and then let me know in the chat. Okay, so this is the first app we shared, Habitify. Okay, let me check my chat here, see if so far so good. No one said anything in the chat. Sorry for this crazy looking screen, but hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so we're good. You guys can see me. Good. You can see the chat. Let me see if I got it. Anybody responding? I see it, Carly. Thank you. All right. So Hibidify is really cool. It's actually what we're using right now in our challenge for our membership here, and those who are part of our Diabetes 180 membership. If you're not, of course, check the links in the bio section if you'd like to join our membership. We do fun challenges. So I like this for simplicity. So where it starts is right here. You know, you have these are the habits I created. Okay, the only limitation with this app is that you have to upgrade to get more than 3 habits, I believe. So you can only have 3 habits, right? So I have the junk challenge. This is a challenge where I was able to share this challenge with friends, other people to join me in the month of January to junk food. So that's a cool thing. Then you have little thing tasks or goals like waking up before 6:30. And I'm probably going to change that to essentially 5:30 and try to get better and better at waking up early. My goal is by March to be consistently up by 4. So, great way to do that is start slow and steady. And then time waster habits. So I'm gonna show you guys what you can get from this. So first, let's show you how you add habits. What's nice is if you want to add a habit, you let you choose between building good habits or breaking bad habits. So you could build a good habit, and it gives you well, actually, what I have to do is delete one of these first, because as you can see, because I have the maximum, it's not gonna let me add anymore. um Once I delete one of these, let's see if I could delete one of these. All right, let me just show you this. So time waster is just a generic name for, let's say, a time wasting habit you want to get rid of. So what's cool is what I like about this is here you can have a calendar view. And a lot of these apps don't do this very well. I think a habit sticks better when you could zoom out how successful you've been doing for the last 30, 60, 90 days. So you could actually go through a calendar date. And so since we're starting with a new year, January, I have a 6-day streak where I haven't touched let's see my this I don't know time wasting activity, right? Video games or something, right? Whatever it is, right? So Monday, I did the activity, then I could see, okay, well, I have a 6-day streak. That's awesome. I could look back in last month and say, wow, actually went a whole 30 days with being successful at this habit. So I love that, being able to see long, in a bird's eye view, how successful you've been with your habits. Same, this is one's fairly new. I started with the new year, so going good on the second and third. Of course, I was up pretty late, 1st of January, but after second, I was up early. Sunday and Monday didn't do so good, right? So that's why that's blank, right? But if I did wake up, you just click on it, and now I have a 1-day streak, right? And I'm gonna hopefully build from there. So I hope, can you guys see how helpful this is? Hopefully that you can actually be more consistent if you can see your consistency, right? Or lack of consistency. I call this the thermometer, right? It allows you to see, am I still hot, right? Or have I gone into more cold, lukewarm status? Okay. The junk to junk challenge, I show you that. This is pretty cool. So, going strong 4 days, since January 1st, no junk food. I had all my junk food New Year's Eve, and that's it. That was the last one. So you could actually look at the progress too. You could see the trends. days in a month that maybe you didn't do so good. So I noticed, obviously close to end of the year, January 1st, started to fall off a bit on some habits. You can see if there's certain days that you're not so good with your habits, right? As you add more and more habits, you can see trends based on days. Okay. And then, you can go through the trends of each individual habit. So I really like that. You can, again, share it with friends. This is the junk challenge. I share it with my friends. Okay. I'm going to see if I can delete a habit. Let's see if I can delete this habit and show you, because I really want to show you guys what happens when, yeah, I'm gonna delete this habit and I'm gonna show you what happens when you add a new habit. So let's say I want to break a bad habit. What I like is that this actually gives you categories, so you could actually choose. Okay, I want to stop smoking, stop drinking, limit junk food, limit overeating, limit screen time, limit video games. So they have a lot of different topics of that you can basically just add, right, to your goals. And again, you could also add good habits. And then have customized good habits. So they're actually set. So if I want to, let's say, read a book is a good one, right? I could choose to repeat it every day. I could choose how many times a day I want to read the book, right? Is there a certain time of day I want to be reading books? Maybe in the evening. So I'll just check off the evening, right? So there's a lot of things you could customize these habits based on. You set reminders, checklists. So as far as completeness, this is my favorite app for sure. That's why I started with it. It's a favorite app. The only drawback is that you got to pay to get more than 3 habits. So I use this, but I use others as well. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully you guys haven't asked any questions. Let me see. Okay, good. All right, go back. All right, so let's go ahead and look at another app. This one's really cool, actually. I like this. It's called Finch. My daughter actually put me on this one. I gotta close this first. All right. And this is called Finch, right? So Finch is really cool. So it's like you get a little avatar or a little like person, that can be a symbol of your success. So it's almost like you have to start them off from infancy and grow them. Um and you set different goals. So, do one thing that makes me happy. And then as you do it, you hit a check mark, right? You get little adventure points, right? If I didn't wake up 6 a.m. This is actually, so I didn't check that, right? I did read today, so I'll check that. I did good, right? And there's a little, sound that goes off. It's really encouraging. I shared this specific goal with Zai because that's when I struggle with waking. I love that snooze button, guys. I'm sorry. I love my sleep. So I shared this with my daughter, so you can actually share some of your goals with your friends, right? Yeah, if you look at friends, I have Zai as my friend, my daughter there, so I could visit her house, So it's kind of cool. I like this one for its cuteness. I got a new message probably from Zai. So it's a lot of cool things you can do. You could go on quests. So this is one quest and event. So this is really good for for those of you like, gaming or role playing games and things like that. Um, what I like about this app is that it reminds us that if we want to stick with our goals, you got to make it attractive. You got to make it fun. You're more likely to stick with something if it's fun, if it's attractive. So this kind of brings the fun out of very hard goals, right? As you complete goals, you could buy things. Um, you have to. Oh, this is the name of my. You can name them. So my guy's called Death to Pig. All right. That's my goal, is Death to Piggy. He's a toddler right now, 18 days old, right? And has a 4-day streak on different goals. So, I really like this for cuteness. Atomic Habits, great book. I'm going to reference that book a lot. But the author of that book says a lot of places the importance of making goals attractive, make them fun, right? And this definitely does that. But maybe you don't want something so involved. Maybe you want something simple. That's what I'm gonna show you next. All right, and hopefully you guys are still with me. And I can't see any questions. If you have questions in the chat or comments, I'll look at them right after I'm done here. Okay. All right. So the next one is really simple, but also effective. I think it checks the boxes as far as what you want to look for in an app. Okay, and that is called the avocation. Avocation. This is the avocation. I guess it's called avocation because this is an avocado. I guess. But really simple. You do have to pay though, like in the first app, if you want more than three goals. But what's cool, it's a one-time purchase. It's not like a monthly $4 a month subscription or whatever. You pay one time and you can get unlimited habits. So I actually might do that if I but right now they limit you on the free version for three habits. So time waster, just as a generic goal here, as you complete it, you click X. You just click on it. That's it. Junk food. Did I do it today? I click on it. Right. Did I rise up early today? Well, I didn't, so I don't get to click on it. Right. And then the goal of this app is to grow a plant. Every time I complete a habit, I click on it, and it actually fills up the water jug that would basically provide water to your plant shown here, right? So going back to my goals, let's say if I tomorrow I do better, I'm up at the right time, my jar is now full, right? And I get more water to my plant, and I get to see it grow. 7 days watered, days since starting, 18 days till. And if you water enough, I guess the idea is when it's time to grow, it'll grow. Of course, if your plant's dying, it tells you something about your goals too, right? I love that. I love that because it's like it's like a thermostat, or not even thermostat, a temperature gauge to see if you are hot still, or if you are slipped back into lukewarmness when it comes to your goals. Guys, I can't emphasize this enough. We are in the fight for our life. A lot of us don't even know it, and this could save you. This could save you. I mean it. I mean, I'm getting serious, but I mean it. What's cool too is that, again, it's cheap if you want to add. Let me see here. Oh yeah, this one I want to show you too. With this app, you could also take a few minutes to read about habit development, and these are really good articles. The science behind habits, power of small changes. So I like that they added that to the app. Again, for free. You should read these articles and learn more about forming good habits. All right. So we got this one, and then I'm gonna show you um, the next, I think the next two we have is Habitica and Done. I'm gonna show you Done next because Done is definitely very, very simple. Um, and this one is really emphasis on simplicity. Done. All right, let's see if it's yeah. So Done is really, really simple. So what you can do with this is add tasks right here. You could add a task like this is the task I chose, read 15 minutes. And as you complete the task, you click on it. So certain things are just one time. You want one and one off, right? I love that. So really simple, for a simple task. And then if you want to create habits, so no sugar study, these are actually customized or pre made habits. I don't know what word I'm looking for. They're you can make your customize your own habit, but there's other are already preset habits in there. So you click on habits and you have different categories. So habits that deal with fitness, right? You can go through a long list of different fitness habits. Habits for wellness, so long list of different wellness habits. And you just click on the plus sign, and you choose how often, how many times a day you want to accomplish that habit, what time of day, morning, afternoon, very similar to Habitify. But what I really like is the simplicity. You could see each habit as it's done and just click on it that you did it. And as I click on the ones I made, so this no sugar habit is supposed to be daily, so I could see how many times I've accomplished that habit. This one habit is supposed to be, I believe, weekly. So three times a week. That's why it's 2 out of 3. I've gone two times out of the three times I'm supposed to go this week. So that's why it's showing 2 out of 3. So that's really cool about that. You could see how many times weekly, daily. A lot of the other apps do that too, but you can see how simple this is. I mean, this is really one for those who don't want to have anything too complicated, right? And so I like that. One drawback is it doesn't have like the full calendar. I don't think, that you would have like a Habitify. Otherwise, it'd be perfect. But yeah, what's nice is you go through your done section here, and my task, right, reading was done for Monday. And of course, as you add more tasks, you will see more of your tasks completed in the done section, right? So I'm sure as you upgrade, there's an upgrade option here if you wanted to. Let's see. what the upgrade cost is. Yeah, so $60 for the year, um, or 5.99 per month. So there's an upgrade option which gives you more options. Last one we're gonna do is I like it. I don't think it'll probably be something that most of you guys will call it your favorite, but I like it. It's kind of cool. All right, it's called Habitica. All right, and Habitica is really cool, and for a couple reasons. Right, it has its drawbacks, like a lot of them do. But one of the first drawbacks is it doesn't have that calendar view where you could see how you've been doing over a month, a year. Right, I don't. It doesn't really have that. But it starts off again with a little character or avatar that you could customize. You could buy certain things for a little hat, a little sword. Based on how many coins you've developed from your habits. Um, I'm really nerding out, guys. Hope you guys are nerds with me, but I think this stuff is so cool. Why I like this one particularly is that you have the plus or minus signs, right? Simple but effective. So if you think about something that you're trying to do less of, right? So let's say, for example, a time wasting activity, um, or junk food or whatever, right? Every time you do that thing, right, you have to hit negative. Right. This actually, you could choose whether an activity is negative or positive, and you can choose whether not doing it is positive and whether doing it is negative. So you can, put some thought into this, into your habits, a little more thought into your habits. So every time I, let's say, waste my time with that activity, I dig myself, I lose some health in my character. Oh, my little guy's not feeling very good, right? But I prayed about it, so I got a little more experience, right? So um, based on things you did or didn't do, or did I eat after 9 or did I not eat after 9? I did not eat after 9, which is positive, right? So I get more experience points, right? And then you can use that to buy cool stuff, right? This is pretty cool. I like that. And as far as simplicity, this is simple and fun. So I think it's actually one of my favorite, personally. Next to Finch, right? So that is all we got. Let me stop sharing the screen. Sorry again for the infinity screen. And let me just give me a second to end. Oh yeah, here. Stop sharing. All right. Okay. All right, so it's good. All right, so let's see what we got in the chat. Oh, so Christine, you use Finch. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, your daughter taught you that app too. That is hilarious. These kids know stuff, man. All right. And Christine also shares that I'm caring for my hospice patient. It is reminding me to keep working on forming and keeping good habits. Absolutely. I hope that's the goal of our chat today, our live today. Number one, you know, keep it simple, keep it doable. If you know you're not going to be using apps, then get a habit journal. Just get a habit journal, or keep a notepad by your bed and just take a moment every day and write down what habits you've created. If I were to close and saying anything, we have to make a habit out of out of tracking habits, right? It's not going to happen naturally. You're going to download the app and you're going to forget it's there. I mean, how many guys honest, right? If you download the app, most of us might just forget it's there. Use it. Use it. Okay. I do want to share a quote from, again, Atomic Habits. See if I can find it here. And this is also a word of encouragement for us here. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become, right? And that's the power of atomic habits or small habits, right? As you look at the habits you're doing, right? Think of the tasks we went through, right? Through the day to day, you're making a vote for the person you're becoming, right? And every time I see that I'm accomplishing certain goals, even though they're small, right? Doing something I love, taking 3 deep breaths, right? Praying in the morning, you realize something that, a lot of times we miss out through the harshness of society, that you're amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of things you are doing well, right? And you realize that, what, I'm the type of person that follows through with my commitments. I'm the type of person that makes healthy choices more often than not, right? You get a different view of your own self, right? And this can be powerful, especially as you're building a better self. And every time you do those things that create that self, you can see it through these tracking journals or habit apps. You can see the person you're becoming. And that in itself fuels success, right? Because you're more likely to do what you do because of what you think of you. So if you think of yourself as successful, as committed, as motivated, you're more likely to be successful, committed, and motivated in doing those things. So hopefully you guys can put that together. Let's let go of lukewarmness. No more lukewarm in 2026. All right. We forgive those who are cold. Those who are cold aren't even watching this live. Okay. But um, well, maybe you are. Maybe you're cold and you got on here because you want to get hot. Let me take that back. All right. But yeah, 2026, make this year, make a commitment this year to stay on fire for the Lord, on fire for your health, on fire for your family, on fire for yourself, right? And don't let the natural, habitual, occurrence of lukewarmness settle in this year, right? By March, let's be able to look at these apps and see that even though the motivation is gone, the discipline is set in, right? And now these habits or these actions are now habits, right? All right. So, beloved, I should say before we sign off, join us in our group membership. If you need a community, if you're doing this alone, you don't need to look at the description section of our video to join our community. And beloved, I pray above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. We'll see you next week.